Greetings. So we are back again with another tutorial. So today our objectives are going to be on the where. So I'll write down my objectives. Objectives. We are going to look at the where statement or clause. The where clause. We're going to look at the limit statement with the offset. We're going to look at fetch next or fetch first statement. I'm going to look at the in statement. So these are our objectives today. So now we're going to look at some of the tables that we've created. We're going to treat them in depthly. So the first thing we're going to look at is the where clause. So the where clause. So what do we use it to do? Well, so the where clause allows us to create some condition for us to be able to extract data from our table. So this allows us to create a condition or a criteria for us to be able to extract data from our table. So let us go back to some of the tables that we had previously created. So let's look at the order table as an example. So I'll just come down here and select everything from order table. So if I were to look at that, so now maybe I want to extract people that offered only physics alone, for example. So I'm giving a data set like this from this table, and I'm told to extract people that offered physics. So how am I going to do that? So one way you can fit the where clause or where statement into your table is by doing this. So after I say select everything from order table, we'll now create a condition by saying where. So now this is going to allow us to create the criteria that would allow us to extract data from this table. So now I would now say where, and I'll specify course is equal to physics, like that. So this has allowed me to create a condition or a criteria for me to extract data from this table. So now you will discover now that just by writing this statement, I can be able to extract just this row from the table. So that's the beauty of the where clause. And of course, we can combine it with some logical operators, the or and the and logical operator. So we could look at a scenario whereby we want to extract. Now, before I dive deeper into using the where clause, I have this to state. Now, the and statement allows us to extract data with the where clause when two values from two columns are correct, or the AND logical operator allows us to extract data from a table using the where clause based on two columns. So it's going to be based on two columns, our data, two or more columns. So we use the AND if we know for a certainty that if we combine multiple columns together, the values we are specifying in our condition, if they exist in that table just the way they are stated, that is only when the AND statement can work. So if we are trying to extract data from a table using the AND operator, we must make sure that those values exist just how they are stated. So now an example to be able to buttress my point using the AND statement. So for example, maybe I want to extract data from this table whereby the person's second name is Bran, and he also offered physics. I will just come here and say and course, and second name is equal to Bran. So now this would allow me to extract this row alone. Why? Because I'm using the AND statement, and the AND statement allows us to extract data using the where clause based on two columns. Based on two or more columns. So it can be two or it can be more. Now, if I should highlight this, you will discover that to print out just one row for us, which is Alex, Brian, and physics. And also, if I decided to remove the second, maybe I just comment that out, and I only, I remove the and rather with the second, and I only run the where with just this condition, it will still give us that row. Why? Because I'm selecting everything from this table. So asterisk means all the columns. Then this is the criteria where this column is equal to this value, and we have only one row that column is equal to that value. So that's how we can use the where clause with the and. Using it alone and using it with the and. So what of if we want to use it with the or statement? An example. So you just say using with or. Now I will do the same thing, select asterisk from other table where cost is equal to. Before we do this, let us print out our table again so that we can see how it looks. So just highlight this and run. So now maybe I'm trying to extract data from this table, looking for people I'm looking for person who their second name is Brian and person who offered mathematics, or rather person who offered mathematics. So now the way we can use the or statement with the where clause is that the or logical operator or statement allows us to extract values from a table based on multiple rows. So the or logical operator allows us to extract values or data from a table based on multiple rows. So the AND logical operator is based on multiple columns, while the OR logical operator is based on multiple rows. So what do I simply mean by that? So I want to extract data from a table based on people that offered physics, based on people or based on a person whose name is Brian, and based on a person that offered mathematics. So you can just come here, can change the condition by saying where second name is equal to Brian, then you put your or. See, or course is equal to mathematics. So now this would allow you to extract people or a person whose second name is Brian and a person who offered mathematics at the same time. So now wherever these values appear in my table is going to extract them out. So what this will bring out this row, all the values from this row, and all the values from this row. Why is it doing that? Because I said select asterisk. So asterisk signifies all the columns. Now this condition tells me the exact values in which column I'm trying to print out. So since I selected all the columns, this simply means that this is going to target second name and look for Brian. So where there's Brian, it's going to print out all the values on that row. and target course, and where we have course as mathematics, it's going to print out all the values on that row. So if I should execute this, you'll see what it will give us. It will give us those two rows. Give us this row and this row. Alright. So that's how you can use the where clause with the or statement. Now moving on to the next. Alright. So let's look at the limit with the offset. So since we're done with the where clause, we want to asterisk it out. Now the next one is the limit statement. Alright, so now let me print out my table again, the order table. Alright, I'll just copy it here, I'll paste it here. I'll write limit and offset because that's what we're looking at now. So limit and offset. So what does limit and offset mean? So limit allows us to restrict. So the limit statement or clause allows us to restrict the values being printed out from a row to a specific number. So I will take that again. The limit statement or clause allows us to restrict the values being printed out from a table to a specific number. So it allows us to restrict the values or rows, restricting the values or rows being printed out from a table to a specific number. Then the offset allows us to skip some specified number of rows when printing out values or data from a table. So the offset allows us to skip a specific or specified number of rows when printing out values or data from a table. Alright, so now let's proceed. So now let me reprint out this my table again. So I would highlight it, now run, I would execute my program. So you can see that it prints out everything. But what if I want to just print out just these two rows alone? Just these two rows alone. Now after I say select asterisk from order table, you can come down here and say limit 2. So what this simply means is that this is going to limit the rows printed out from this table to 2. So starting from the first one and the second one alone. So you want to highlight it and execute, and you would see that to print out just those two rows alone. Now let us see how we can apply the offset. So I can say offset 1. What does this mean? This means that as I'm printing out two rows, I want to skip one row before I print out two rows. So what happens is that SQL executes the offset before it executes the limit. So SQL allows us to execute the offset before it executes the limit. So what's going to happen is that, so I will print out my table again alone so that we can see the values we're talking about. So it's going to allow me to skip number 1, this first row, and it's going to print out the other two rows at the bottom. So you can just come here, highlight it, and you will discover that it will skip number 1, and you can see we have 2, 3. So that's how the offset works with the limit. So the limit allows us to restrict the number of rows being printed out from a table to a specific number, and the limit allows us to, the offset allows us to be able to